Hey there, welcome back to our channel, where we explore the fascinating world of psychology. Today we're diving into a topic that affects many people in their daily lives, narcissism. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the 4 types of narcissism, but also how to recognize and deal with each one in your life. First, let's define narcissism. Narcissism refers to an inflated sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and a constant need for admiration. People with narcissistic traits can be challenging to deal with, but it's essential to understand that not all narcissists are the same. There are 4 main types: grandiose, vulnerable, malignant, and covert. We'll explore each of these in detail, discussing their characteristics, origins, impacts on relationships, and treatment options. First up is grandiose narcissism. This is the most well-known type, and it's characterized by an exaggerated sense of self-importance. People with grandiose narcissism often have fantasies of success, power, and beauty. They need constant admiration and validation from others to maintain their inflated self-image. Let's say you have a friend named John. John always talks about himself and his accomplishments, often exaggerating or outright lying. He constantly seeks admiration and praise from others, dismissing any constructive criticism. John is a textbook example of a grandiose narcissist. But how does someone like John develop these traits? Research suggests that a combination of biological and environmental factors play a role. For example, John may have inherited a predisposition to narcissism from his parents, and his upbringing may have reinforced these traits. Now, when it comes to relationships and social interactions, grandiose narcissists like John can be quite manipulative and exploitative. They often lack empathy, making it difficult for them to form genuine connections with others. If you've ever been in a relationship with a grandiose narcissist, you know how draining it can be to constantly cater to their need for admiration and validation. Thankfully, there are treatment options available for those willing to seek help. Psychotherapy, specifically cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can be effective in addressing the underlying thought patterns that contribute to grandiose narcissism. Next, we have vulnerable narcissism. Unlike grandiose narcissists, vulnerable narcissists often feel insecure and doubt their self-worth. They are hypersensitive to criticism and may respond with defensive arrogance. Imagine your coworker, Sarah. On the surface, Sarah may seem shy and reserved. But when someone offers her constructive feedback, she immediately becomes defensive and dismisses their input. Sarah is a classic example of a vulnerable narcissist. Similar to grandiose narcissism, vulnerable narcissism can be traced back to a combination of biological and environmental factors. For instance, Sarah may have grown up with overly critical parents who constantly belittled her, leading her to develop these traits. Vulnerable narcissists like Sarah can have a significant impact on relationships and social interactions. They often withdraw emotionally when faced with criticism or perceived threats, and may exhibit passive-aggressive behavior. This can make it challenging to form a healthy relationship with a vulnerable narcissist. Treatment options for vulnerable narcissism include psychotherapy, with an emphasis on addressing their core insecurities and improving emotional regulation, dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, and psychodynamic therapy are also potential treatment options. The third type of narcissism is malignant narcissism. This is a particularly dangerous form, as it combines narcissistic traits with antisocial personality traits and aggression. Malignant narcissists often display sadistic tendencies and a complete lack of remorse for their actions. Picture someone like Alex. Alex has a history of manipulating and exploiting others for personal gain, and he doesn't care who he hurts in the process. He enjoys inflicting pain on others, both emotionally and physically. Alex is a prime example of a malignant narcissist. The development of malignant narcissism is also influenced by a combination of biological and environmental factors. However, research suggests that childhood trauma or abuse may play a more significant role in the development of this type. In relationships and social interactions, malignant narcissists like Alex can be extremely harmful. They're often willing to engage in exploitive and destructive behaviors, leaving a trail of emotional and sometimes physical damage in their wake. Treatment for malignant narcissism can be challenging, as individuals with this type are often resistant to change. However, intensive long-term psychotherapy, along with pharmacological interventions, may be beneficial for those willing to seek help. Finally, we have covert narcissism. Covert narcissists may not display the obvious grandiosity of other types, but they still possess a strong sense of entitlement, envy, and resentment. They often feel that they deserve special treatment, even if they don't openly express it. Let's consider Emily. Emily appears humble and modest, but secretly believes she's better than everyone else. She's resentful of others' success and feels that she's constantly being overlooked. Emily is a classic covert narcissist. As with other types, covert narcissism can be traced back to a mix of biological and environmental factors. However, this type may be more challenging to identify, as the narcissistic traits are often hidden beneath a seemingly unassuming exterior. In relationships and social interactions, covert narcissists like Emily can be manipulative and deceitful. They may employ passive control tactics, such as guilt tripping or playing the victim to get what they want. Treatment options for covert narcissism include psychotherapy aimed at addressing their hidden grandiosity, sense of entitlement, and envy. Therapeutic approaches such as CBT and psychodynamic therapy can be effective in helping covert narcissists develop healthier thought patterns and behaviors. So there you have it, the 4 types of narcissism. As you can see, each type presents unique challenges and requires specific strategies for dealing with them. By understanding these differences, you'll be better equipped to recognize and handle narcissistic individuals in your life. The importance of recognizing and addressing different types of narcissism cannot be overstated. It's crucial not only for those affected by narcissists, but also for the narcissists themselves, as proper treatment can lead to improved mental health and better relationships. Of course, there's still much to learn about narcissism, and further research is needed to fully understand the complexity of this personality disorder. But by raising awareness and sharing this knowledge, we can help create a more compassionate and supportive environment for everyone affected by narcissism. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the 4 types of narcissism we covered today. The first was grandiose narcissism. It's typically the easiest to spot, as their behavior tends to be quite outwardly noticeable. They often display an exaggerated sense of self-importance and crave admiration from others. Here are some key traits to watch out for. You want to look for arrogant behavior. Grandiose narcissists frequently exhibit an air of superiority and may look down on others they perceive as inferior. Attention-seeking. They often engage in attention-seeking behaviors such as dominating conversations or boasting about their achievements. Lack of empathy. Grandiose narcissists may struggle to empathize with others, showing little concern for their feelings or needs. Finally, they are exploitative. They might use others to achieve their goals without considering the impact on those they exploit. Next up is vulnerable narcissism. Marked by insecurity, self-doubt, hypersensitivity to criticism, vulnerable narcissists can be more challenging to identify, as their narcissistic traits may be less obvious. Look for these signs. Fragile self-esteem. Vulnerable narcissists often have a fragile sense of self-worth and may be easily hurt by negative feedback or perceived slights. Defensive behavior. They may become defensive or lash out when criticized or confronted, even when the feedback is well-intended. Need for reassurance. These individuals often seek constant validation from others to boost their fragile ego. Passive-aggressive behavior. Vulnerable narcissists might exhibit passive-aggressive tendencies, such as giving the silent treatment or making snide remarks, instead of directly addressing conflicts. Third, we talked about malignant narcissism. Malignant narcissists are particularly dangerous due to their combination of narcissistic traits and antisocial personality traits and aggression. They often display sadistic tendencies and a complete lack of remorse for their actions. Watch out for the following signs. Manipulation. Malignant narcissists are skilled at manipulating others to achieve their ends, often with no concern for the well-being of those they exploit. Sadism. They might derive pleasure from causing pain or suffering to others, either emotionally or physically. Lack of remorse. Malignant narcissists often show no guilt or regret for their harmful actions, even when confronted with the consequences. Aggressive behavior. They might exhibit aggressive or violent tendencies, which often escalate to dangerous levels. Finally, we talked about covert narcissists. Covert narcissists can be the most challenging to spot, as their narcissistic traits are often hidden beneath a seemingly unassuming exterior. They possess a strong sense of entitlement, envy, and resentment, but may not openly express it. Be aware of these signs. Quiet grandiosity. Covert narcissists may secretly believe they are superior to others, but may not overtly display this belief. Resentment. They might harbor feelings of resentment and envy towards those who they perceive as more successful or talented. Manipulation. Covert narcissists can be manipulative and deceitful, employing passive control tactics like guilt tripping or playing the victim to get what they want. Hidden entitlement. They may feel entitled to special treatment, even though they don't outwardly demand it. In conclusion, understanding the differences between the 4 types of narcissists can be invaluable when it comes to identifying and dealing with these individuals. By being aware of their specific traits and behaviors associated with each type, you'll be better prepared to handle narcissistic individuals in your life and protect yourself from potential harm. Remember, knowledge is power, and by understanding these various forms of narcissism, you can protect yourself and help others who may be struggling with this challenging personality disorder. If you found this video insightful, then please subscribe to our channel for more fascinating psychological content. Also, feel free to share your experiences and thoughts on narcissism in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.